stuck in life, you should aspire for more. Connect with others who desire to aspire for more. Reach for your goals. When you do, you allow yourself to aspire for more. Dr. Tammy is here to help you aspire for more. Aspire for more.
Hello everyone. How is it going? I hope you are well. I am Dr. Tammy and we are back for another season of Journey Toward More. Welcome to another episode of Journey Toward More, a podcast where we discuss topics to help you manifest more of what is for you, more of what you desire, more of what is aligned with who you are, more of what honors you on your journey toward more. I am your host, Dr. Tammy Francis, the Catalyst, life strategist, literacy educator, and consultant. And today I want to talk about pushing past the pressure with purpose and on purpose. And if you find the content of this podcast of interest to people in your circle, please share it out to them. Please, send them a little message to download and check it out, whether it's on SoundCloud, Google Play, iTunes, or anywhere that it's on. Please share it out with them. We are just about everywhere. Spotify, that's what I couldn't think of at that moment. I drew a blank. But this podcast is everywhere that you can find a podcast. And so I encourage you to share it with those who may be feeling the pressure of March 2020. Of what's going on at this point in time, at this point in history. And let this be encouragement to you to push past the pressure with purpose, on purpose. This time has been an adjustment of some sort for all of us. And although some of us are great at managing our life in the midst of what's going on, for those of you that are watching it today, you know what that is. For those of you that are watching this months or years in the future of 2020, March 2020, there has been declared a pandemic. And so this podcast is talking about that pandemic pressure of the COVID-19 or coronavirus, whatever you want to call it. Because life has changed the way that we've known it. We have a new normal, or we're shifting into a new normal. I guess I should say. I guess right now it's still a bit uncertain for some of us as to what will be and what's about to happen. But it is a time of uncertainty for many of us, and we're feeling the pressure of just the declaration of it being a pandemic, whether you believe it or not, or you are listening to the news or not, or you are, doing whatever. There is a shift in the way that we are navigating our daily life. And that can be a bit challenging when it's not planned, when there's not a strategy in place for it. And my platform is all about strategy and having a strategy and creating a strategy and plan for what you are about to do, what you are preparing for, whatever's next for you. This, shift in having to stay at home, quarantine, depending on which level of safety your area is participating in, it's been a shift for all of us. So if you're not journaling during this time, I encourage you to pull out a journal, get a journal, find your journal, and pull it out and start making notes. Start being reflective on what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you're doing, not doing, what you're not feeling, what you're avoiding, because all of that kind of tells you and shares something and enlightens you on what you need to be focused on and what you need to do. Because in the midst of this, the whole purpose of today's episode is for you to start thinking about what is it that you enjoy doing to serve others. Not all of us are medical professionals. Not all of us are accountants. Not all of us are lawyers. Not all of us are doctors. Not all of us are mechanics. Not all of us are managers of a grocery store. And so you have to really determine what it is you enjoy doing to serve others. Your purpose. Then shift into being intentional about how you're creating opportunities to do that while serving others during the midst of what's going on, whether it's in your life, your business, or right now in the world. And when you're creating those opportunities and being intentional, you're really thinking about how within these parameters that I've been given, that I'm working within, that I can do what I love to do, enjoy doing, and serving. So I'm going to just talk about maybe 4. I have 4 things on my list, but I think it's like 3 and a 3B. I think 2 of them are kind of the same, just from a different perspective. But what are those 4 things that I encourage you to think about and focus on during this time? So number 1 is my encouragement to you is that this is only temporary. And even though it seems a bit kind of new, different, uncertain, it's a great time to hit the reset button, to hit the reboot button on your life, on your business, on the way that you interact with other people and connect with other people. It's a great time to do that. And know that there's hope in what is happening, that this is not a bad thing. This can be an opportunity for you to prepare for what's next. What's next for you? And so that is, I guess, which is not a number 4 and not a number 1, I guess. How did I think about it? That's probably just my encouragement as I talk about these other 3 things, is that you really think about how this can be an opportunity for you to grow, for you to learn, for you to move in the direction of more, which is my platform. And if I can assist with that in any way, I'm here. I'm here. So reach out to me. Okay. So, all right, Dr. Tammy, this is only temporary. I should be focused on what I enjoy doing to serve others and creating opportunities during this time for now and for when this blows over to do that thing. So what should I do? So the first thing I want you to do is, in saying that, number 1 is to be purpose driven. To don't be focused on the negative. Don't be focused on what is not happening. Don't focus on how uncomfortable it is. Focus on how you can turn this time into an opportunity to focus on what it is you enjoy doing to serve others, which can then become, for those who are interested, another stream of income and or a new business venture. And so be purpose driven. Think about what can you do while serving others during this time. what opportunities can you capitalize on during this time? So let me just say, I am a full-time tenure professor, and I run 4 businesses currently. Okay, 5, but 4 officially. The 5th one is going to bloom during this time. That's one of the opportunities I'm creating. So, but I'm doing all of that and working full time. When you work for someone else and that work is not in your home, it's not in your home office or your office, it is in their place. You have to go there. So, in teaching, I taught, I say past tense because now we've shifted, right? But I teach online, face-to-face classes. And in teaching face-to-face classes, I have to be there. I have to go where the students are rather than finding me online, like I've shifted to recently to online platform. But I was doing that. And then I was doing the businesses. And what I've realized during this time is that I was like, oh man, like face-to-face. Now, I will say that most of my assignments and a lot of things that I did that counted as credit were already online. So what I've had to do is shift just really my lectures and online. Because even my communication was online, like all of that was through our LMS, our learning management software. So the only piece that I really did in class were the activities I did, my hands-on activities, and my lectures. So that's the part I've had to shift. So it wasn't a huge shift for me. So I will say for those of you who are K-12 teachers and it was a complete shift for you, I apologize for making this sound so easy. But for me, it was. And so with that, I realized that, this created space for me to not have to be somewhere, which included travel, commute time. And I could do it during the hours that I am most productive. So in essence, this time has created flexibility for me. It has created flexibility with my schedule. So this is Saturday that this is being recorded. I can work on my business at my normal times, the weekends and evenings, but I can also flip things. Like, when you are creative, you just go with the flow. You go with the way your energy and your creativity flows. And sometimes I'm more creative in my teaching space. Sometimes I'm more creative in my business, in one aspect or another of my business. Sometimes I just have things like this that I just want to put out there into the world to just encourage others and use as a platform to share with you how I'm managing this time. And I want to do that. And so now I have the flexibility of doing that at 8 a.m., at 8 p.m., 2 a.m., 5 p.m. I can do that. And of course, with meetings are meetings. So meetings just suck up your time no matter what. But now that they're online, at least, I don't have to go somewhere to a meeting. I can just sit at my desk and do that here. So this time has created flexibility. And so I just want to encourage you that, when you think about being purpose-driven, part of that is realizing, what are you meant to do? I know that I've been put on here on this earth to teach and to help others be successful in their life and business. And I am only as successful as well as I do that. And the better and better equipped I am to do that, the better others and the more equipped others are to do what they're meant to do. So this time is really creating a space for me to be more effective in what I do, in that it's giving me flexibility to do it when it works for my life. Because beyond doing all that, I do have, a little personal life, right? So be purpose-driven. And so in that, you've got to stay focused. Number 2, stay focused. So whatever it is you're meant to do, you got to stay focused. So part of that focus and being fixated on that focus is creating a schedule that matches what you're trying to accomplish. So there are some things in the playbook. If you haven't checked out the playbook, I encourage you to check out the playbook. The official name is called Manifesting More, a playbook for planning and living on purpose. It's on Amazon, and it has some wonderful tools for you to be purpose-driven and to stay focused. And creating the schedule that you need to create during this time, to even think in the future on how you want things to flow, even once things are quote unquote back to normal. And what your goals are. Like, what do you want to do? So beyond what you're focused on right now, what are the next steps for you? And so it is a great way to do what I'm going to encourage you to do. Number 3. Execute an action plan, your action plan. And so in order to execute an action plan, you've got to create it. So part of staying focused is creating that, which means you're going back to what I said when we came on, when this started. Create opportunities to do what you enjoy, to serve others. And so if you're doing that, and that is your focus, and you're creating a plan to do that and looking at the opportunities to do that, then you can execute, number 3, an action plan. The action plan should not be something that is passive. It should be something that includes action, task. And in the playbook, it actually helps you break down those tasks from yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily, and help you make sure that each day you're approaching those things and doing those things that are action-oriented. In addition to that, it also helps you break down your goals. So some of you think like, well, okay, well, all right, now that you have what you're doing right now, you want to create goals for what's next. It helps you break down those goals into smaller tasks so that then over this next month or 2 that we're hanging out inside and having time to be purpose-driven, to be focused, to work on our action plan, then you can break down those steps and use those steps, those tasks, choose those tasks that are on that list that when it's time, because you'll create a timeline in addition to those tasks. So the template in the playbook has the goal and then the tasks that you can list under there. What are some of the small steps to reach that goal? And then the date, like when do you want to do it? Whatever that date is. Some use it as a due date, the deadline. Some do it as this is when I will focus on it. This will be my May focus. This will be my May 15th focus, whether it's a day, a month, or week, whatever, they put a date. And so it also creates a timeline for you so you can tell whether you're on track or not. And then, of course, if you have things to add or take away or whatever, you can see how it's progressing. And what are those things that you didn't think about or consider? What are those things you did but were not necessary? All of that is visible when you're using the playbook. You know, a lot of people want to use their phones for calendars. They want to use their computers. But I encourage you to write it down, however you want to write it down. And the playbook is a great way to write it down, keep it all in one place, and be able to see it and see how it grows and changes over the next few weeks, the next month, quarter, year, years, right? So that is a great way to start in creating that action plan. And the other thing I want to share with you before I end today's podcast is this whole time when I've been sitting back watching, y'all know I'm a people watcher. For those of you that have joined me, I'm a people watcher. Psychology is a part of my DNA, human behavior and thinking. And what I realized is that the one thing that is common with all of this and during this time is fear. And if you look at what's holding you back from being purpose driven, from focusing and creating that action plan, I can almost bet you it's fear. And that fear may have always been there before this. This fear may have been exacerbated by this, but there is fear there. And I'm going to choose this moment to remind you to don't be limited by fear. Whether it's internal or others are projecting it on you. And both of those are major. So your internal fear, part of that and looking at that is getting at that journal, reflecting, being honest with yourself, writing it down. Because then you can say, is this a realistic fear or not? Is it just uncomfortable or not? And if it is unrealistic and it's just uncomfortable, you can do it anyway. You may have to turn it into smaller steps. You may have to approach it slightly different, as in how fast you do it and how it progresses. But if it's internal and you write it down, you make note of it, then you know how to deal with it. The one that out of those two that's equally difficult and sometimes put you in a whole different space than internal fear. Internal fear is just you like feeling it, like literally feeling it. But fear from others, projected fear, is paralyzing. Did you hear me? Projected fear is paralyzing. So others projecting fear onto you sometimes stops you in your tracks, especially if it's people who you love and who you value their opinion. And so be very careful about projected fear, because then you have to, here we go again, go back to that journal, put it in there and decide, is that valid or not? How reliable is it? Depending on the person and depending on how they deal with fear. And is that fear theirs or yours? And it's probably theirs, not yours. Because if you're thinking about moving on, it's not yours. You're ready to go. So projected fear is paralyzing. And that fear is projected and then internalized. So then you question, should I be afraid of what I'm doing, where I'm going, what I'm utilizing during this time? And that is not good. Not good. Because you'll find that many other things that you are successful in and successful at are things that you do it anyway. You feel the fear and do it anyway. Popular book, great cliche and saying, but so true. That you acknowledge that it's there. You recognize that it's there. I think, all the people that you see online and you hear about, you talk to that are doing great things in the midst of all this, can't say that not one of them is afraid. Doubt that. But what's different is they're doing it. They're going forward. They're staying focused. They're purpose driven. And they have an action plan and they're following that action plan. And it's one thing to ignore it, suppress it, and be paralyzed, rather than acknowledge it, greet it with a smile, and keep going and do what it is you have set up to do. that action plan. So don't be limited by fear. Don't let fear limit who you are, where you're going, what you're doing, and how you're doing it. You know, there is very little success, and I would say none, without failure. So it's a part of success. It's an ingredient, an important ingredient to success. So be willing to fail forward, keep going, be purpose-driven, stay focused, manage this time and maximize this time, and create that action plan. And number 3, execute it. Execute the action plan and go forward. And pick up the playbook. Check it out. Get it to help you on your journey. Let me know if you have questions, if I can assist. But that is my encouragement for you today, is to take some time to reset and then reboot and get to work. And that's what I'm doing, following my own advice. You know, part of my reset and hitting the reset button. Y'all know what happens when you hit the reset button on the computer? Or you reboot a computer, it goes off. So part of mine was I had to go off. Like, I went to sleep, I rested, I did absolutely nothing. But then once those lights came on, once the logo popped up, okay, on my shirt, but once the logo popped up and it came on, ready to go. So I encourage you to do the same. If you need to take a minute, take a minute. But literally, 1 minute, 60 seconds. Get out your journal, reflect, and then start strategizing how you can be purpose-driven, stay focused, create an action plan, and then execute that action plan. I appreciate you all joining me today. I thank you for taking this episode in. Like, I hope you really take it in, like into your soul, into who you are and what you want. And use it as encouragement to keep going. Some of you are doing most of this. So just keep going. Keep going, and you're on the right track. This is just affirmation. And for those of you that were questioning what you were doing, whether it was the right thing and if it was something you needed to do, it's confirmation. So, I hope this episode has helped you on your journey toward more of what is for you. Don't forget to check out the apparel. And, not only, am I into giving words and sharing words to go in you that you can take internally, but also those things that you can wear and share with others that you encounter every day. So we have a new I Am Limitless I Am collection, and I Am Limitless is the signature design for that collection, because that is my phrase affirmation for 2020, and I'm giving it and sharing it with you. There are others in the collection. I am dope. I am powerful. I am a catalyst. And I am Black history. So there's several on the list that, and more to come. Like every month I will be releasing another one. So stay tuned for April's release. But check it out, bit.ly/C4C apparel, catalyst for change, everything C4C, the number 4. So bit.ly/C4C apparel. Check it out. It will also be in the show notes at the bottom. Make sure you check out the playbook on Amazon, Manifesting More, a playbook for planning and living on purpose. And if you're interested in a session or a package of sessions with me, reach out to me. This time I am running a special, so check in with me and we'll do a discovery call and see how I can help you and what are the next steps. So thank you all for joining me live. I said live. Okay. I'm so used to live streaming, y'all. I apologize for joining me on this episode of Journey Toward More. I appreciate you. Y'all take care, and be sure, since I said live, catch me live. Catch me live over on Facebook and my YouTube channels. I have two, Dr. Tammy Francis, and I also have Catalyst for Change Global. Both of those I have for videos. Dr. Tammy Francis is where you'll find more of this and my live broadcasts that have been recorded and uploaded as video. And Catalyst for Change, you'll find out some of the other things we're doing within the business and in our travels. So speaking of travel, if you haven't joined the travel community, we have the travel community as well. And next up, or one of the next step, is the cruise in May. And then we have Spain in August. So definitely connect with the group. I will put that in the show notes at the bottom in the description. You can join the group by going to bit.ly/C4C. There it is again, travel group. bit.ly/C4C travel group. I hope to see you in the community. I hope to see you online. And be sure to follow me at Dr. Tammy Francis and at C4C Global 1, the number 1. We're number 1. Y'all take care, enjoy, and I will chat with you on the next episode of Journey Toward More. Have a great day.
Stuck in life, you should aspire for more. Connect with others who desire to aspire for more. Reach for your goals. When you do, you allow yourself to aspire for more. Dr. Tammy is here to help you aspire for more. When you believe in yourself, anything is possible. Believe in yourself, you'll get more. You should aspire for more. Aspire for more. You should aspire for more. You should aspire for more. When you believe in yourself, anything is possible. Believe in yourself and get more. You should